Whew, okay. All right, I'm here, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had to get things set up and had to step away from everything for a minute. Let me adjust a few things before I jump in, and I will explain what is going on. Because this is not what I intended to play tonight. This is not what I intended to play tonight. I'll explain in a minute. I promise I will. Make sure that I can turn off. Do I turn that all the way down, or do I? I just need to turn off this. I think that's what I have to do anyway. I'm just going to turn off voice chat altogether. I'm not going to use it. I don't want to bother the other players, obviously. Okay, so I guess it's time to explain. So, why is the loading screen in Canada? Because the operator here is a Native American, and they're building up her Native American roots. Because I guess diversity hires are a thing. Look, I'm not going to get into that right now. So okay, so I was going to continue the Ghost of Tsushima playthrough tonight. That was my goal. I was totally on board to jump on a Ghost of Tsushima and continue on with the playthrough. Didn't work out because hold on. Gotta fix the voice chat. I'm just going to fix this. Okay, there we go, fixed it. I just didn't want my voice to bother the other players.
Increased surveillance on bombs. Op 4 has a diffuser. Mission failed. A bomb was defused.
Because I left for a minute, the whole game threw itself out of whack. It's crazy. I love when the game does that. Okay, so who to play? Who to go? I'll go Frost. I tend to do pretty well as Frost. Okay, so anyway, what happened was this. So I was going to do the Let's Play of Ghost of Tsushima again. I was going to pick up where I left off and go through it. But then when I get on, it says it needs an update. I'm like, oh, okay, an update shouldn't take longer than a few minutes. I'll wait for it. But the timer for how long the update is going to take keeps increasing gradually. And I'm like, this is going to take too long. And even when it does finish, it's going to take forever just to copy the damn file. So I'm like, I won't have time by the time it finishes. It'll be almost 9:30 here. And I just can't do a stream that late. Not anymore. Not with the way things are here. So I said, you know, I got to do something else. I got to do something else tonight and save Ghost of Tsushima for later. But don't worry, I will do Ghost of Tsushima again. I'm not done with it. I wanted to stream for you guys since I missed out on last time. And thought this would be a fun little way to show some cringe, because I'm not good at this game. This is not a game I excel in, so thought it might be fun for y'all to watch me flounder around for a little bit. Because after all, y'all keep telling me, hey, we don't watch you because you're good at games, we watch you because you're funny. We watch you because you're entertaining. Time to put your money where your mouth is, boys. Whoa, that was close. Just shooting to shoot, I guess. Okay.
Located a bomb. Protect it.
Okay. I love the simplicity of Frost traps. They're so basic. You know, you got all these other operators with high-tech everything. You got Warden with his high-tech goggles. You got killer gas. You got poison. You got all these really awesome tools to get your kills. Awesome technology, and then you just got bear traps. That's so beautiful. Okay. I'm totally not gonna die. Oh shit. Ah! Ah! Oh, that was terrible. I should have waited. I should have waited. Oh, that was terrible. Anyway, it's fine. We get to watch you rage at Rambo. Who doesn't want that? This game is so cringe to me. I barely rage at it anymore. It's not like For Honor, because For Honor is a game that I should, by all accounts, be okay at, because I'm in a Rep 600 area. So with For Honor, it's kind of like, hey, I should be somewhat okay at this, right? Here, I know I'm garbage. I know I'm trash at this game. So if I do bad, it's like, okay, whatever. It's what it is. I kind of saw this coming. Howdy, Trent. This is big crispy cringe time with an Iceman. Wild cringe. Yes, it is. No shing shing, only pew pew kablooey. You are right, a person. And hello, Regulator 2000. Nice to have you on board. Okay, we're attacking this time. Cool, cool. Let's bring in the America. Yeah. Come on in to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America. I love the beard on Blackbeard. It is such a Chad beard. If I could grow my beard out like that, it'd be fantastic. But my beard is really weird. It reaches a point where it looks nice, but if I let it go past that point, it just turns into a monster, and then it needs to be slain by a victorious knight, you know? It's just so awful. But that is a very, very nice beard right there. Yes. Maul, I am here. I'm pulling his best All Might impersonation. I've been binging your For Honor analysis vids, new sub. Thank you, Wolf Whisperer. I appreciate that. Hope you like those vids. A lot of the older ones are bad and outdated, and I probably need to go back and revisit some of them. Like, I'm going to go back and revisit Warlord at some point, and revisit Warden at some point. Now that Warden's had his huge update, I want to kind of revisit how I feel about Warden. But I hope you've liked them thus far, because they were my first videos, and I put a lot of time and energy into them. So, always nice to know when someone likes my work. Okay, so let's see, where am I? Where are any of us, really? Rainbow Six Philosophy.
10 seconds.
Where are we, really? Who are we? Is this life?
5 seconds.
Why are we?
Why are we?
Your drone has found a bomb. You found a bomb.
Oh, I was going the wrong way entirely. I should have been going upstairs. Hit that. Okay. Good. Gonna put on our magical shield. And we gonna run.
Bomb has been located.
Oh, why does this shield make me so heavy? Okay. Going up. Peek. Okay. Gonna be a little sneaky here. Wait, what? What? What happened? Oh, what was this? What happened? I was being all careful, meticulous. All of a sudden, now we won. Good try, though. $2 from DC. If you could make one For Honor hero, what would it be? Thank you for the $2, man. I really appreciate it. And as for the question, what For Honor hero? I really want a For Honor Chinese hero with a Xion. That's something I've wanted for a long time. Hold on. Before I continue that answer, let me pick my hero. You know, we did well as Blackbeard last time. Let's go Blackbeard again. Okay, so, I would also like an Indian faction. Like, I'd love a Rajput faction. Like, get some chakram, get some Qatar daggers, get a Khanda sword, get an Ara coiled sword. I'd love heroes like that. I'd love for them to get more exotic, get more out there, and really explore different opportunities for kinds of warriors. If I could make one, though, I mean, everyone kind of jokes, hey, when's the Raven Lord going to be a For Honor character? And that'd be awesome. I'd love that. I know it will never be, but I'd love that. That'd be cool. Why do I always end up going down here?
Drone has located a bomb.
Oh, what? No wonder we won the last round. The blue team's entire team left. There's only one dude. Oh, I hate when that happens in For Honor, but it sucks even worse in Rainbow, because at least in For Honor you get bots. Here you don't get anybody. You're just on your own. Oh, that's terrible. I feel bad for this team now. That's doing good, and all of a sudden that happens. All right, blow open. Okay. Oh! Oh, why did the screen... Ah! For some reason, my score screen popped up. I accidentally hit that button when I shouldn't have. That happens a lot to me, actually. I'll be playing, but then all of a sudden my hands get jumpy and I hit the wrong button. Oh, well, whatever. Who would win, Genghis Khan or Guan Yu? That's a good question. Genghis Khan has the advantage in terms of just raw numbers and length of area to fall back on. But I think Guan Yu was the better tactician. It really depends. Hey Raven, who drew your Ravenlord character? Also, will you make a story of alternate versions of him, like a Viking Ravenlord or a Spartan Ravenlord, kind of like Marvel and DC alternate universes? I won't be making alternate versions of him other than the female Ravenlord that already exists, because that's just a lot of lore writing that I really don't want to do right now. But, hey, we won. Okay, but, who drew the Ravenlord? That was my buddy, the artist Jay. He's a fantastic artist. He's been drawing a lot of cool stuff for me. We mostly work together, actually. He's writing a story. I'm writing a story called Nomad for him. It was a story that he wanted me to start. I started, and he's drawn lots of pictures for it. And he also draws all the art for my other story, like Tempest Blade. He drew the pictures for that. So, love having him. Love working with him. Okay. The Navy SEAL ain't working out so hot, so we're going to change up tactics. We're going to go the sneaky one. We're going to go sneaky knock. Yeah. Sneaky, sneaky knock. That's what we do. Okay. Got lots of things. Baba Booey. Hey, what's up, man? Can we make alternate versions of Ravenlord? If you'd like, just run it by me first. Maverick question. Hey Raven, have you ever heard of Smite? I have heard of it. I know nothing about it. Okay, looking for a bomb and one person defending it. And that one person's actually pretty good. They're actually pretty tough. Hey. Hey. It's Valkyrie this time. No, don't shoot my drone. Don't shoot my drone. No, stop it. Stop shooting my drone.
Proceed to bomb location and defuse it.
See you around.
All right.
Activating hell.
You located a bomb.
Who has a diffuser? Oh, working on it.
Diffuser is online and active.
Where is she?
Taking point.
Ah, I helped. I helped. See that? I helped. I was not useless. Hey, but give her credit. She tried. That was. It's hard to win when you're on your. And what is that? Oh, is that a Maru? Oh, that's ugly. That's so terrible. That's like a cringy soccer mom look. Who would do that? It's terrible. Raven, have you watched the recently released Kenshin the Beginning? Yes, I have. Hey, Raven Knight, who do you think would win? Napoleon at the height of his empire with aid from Julius Caesar? Okay, now you're asking me which relevant leaders teamed up with relevant leaders who weren't even around at that time. I can't answer that. There are so many different things that have to go into that. Like, you're talking about Julius Caesar. There were not guns in the days of Julius Caesar. In the days of Napoleon, there were guns. How do I even begin to coordinate two completely separate empires together? I'm not answering that because that would take way too long to even speculate on, and I'm sure someone's going to point out, what about artillery of Napoleon's empire? And I'm like, Julius Caesar wouldn't know what to do with that. Anyway, moving on. Hey, Raven, which operator has good lore in your opinion? Which operator has good lore? It's a good question. I think most of them are kind of serviceable. I mean, none of them really jump out at me as, oh god, it's such good writing. I think that Zafia and Ella, them being sisters, they have an interesting dynamic. Dokubi always impressed me. I always like the idea of this girl who doesn't like authority but is trying to impress her betters or impress her leaders. That is always kind of neat to me. Vigil's backstory is sad, but sadness doesn't mean good. That's a common misconception. People always say, oh, I just love his backstory. Isn't his backstory just so good? It's so tragic. Tragic does not equal good. A lot of people make that mistake, and I'm going to talk about that probably in one of my Becoming a Hero videos. People always think, if he has a tragic backstory, it's automatically good. No. No. Tragedy can breed drama. It does not breed good writing. Okay? That's the thing. I'm not saying tragic backstories are bad, far from it, but you don't need it to make good character. Let's see. Valkyries is a little suspect because there are no female Navy SEALs in the actual world, so I'd love to know how she became a Navy SEAL. The only one I don't like is Flores. He's the only one I don't care for. True facts. I just don't care for it. I think it's really crummy. I think it's silly, and I think it's incredibly ironic considering where he comes from, what he does for a living, how much time he spent doing it. I'm like, really? This is what you're going to do? And if you haven't heard my rant on it, I will briefly go into my rant on Flores. Okay, so here's the thing about Flores. So Flores is from... Didn't they say Cuba or was it Venezuela? Do you remember?
What?
Where's Flores from again?
Argentina.
Argentina, that's right. Okay, so he's from Argentina, but he's a thief. Not just any thief, though. He steals from the wealthy and gives back to the people. Very Robin Hood-esque. Okay. We don't know what other job he has. We never hear him talk about it. We never hear it addressed. That's his only job. He gets caught by Ash, who's with the FBI. Hard to know what jurisdiction Ash would have in Argentina, considering she's FBI, but leaving that aside. And she lets him go, giving him another chance, and he comes to America, where he opens a food truck. I believe that's what it is. But he uses that as a front, where he continues his thieving in America. Now, let's stop and think about that for a minute. We also find out that his father was a revolutionary or a rabble-rouser of some variety. Someone who caused problems for the government. Anyone who's familiar with Argentinian history will find that very interesting. And I have to know, what do the Argentinians think of this when they hear, oh cool, we're finally getting an operator in Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Siege, this is going to be so cool. So what's he like? He's the son of a rebel or a, you know, rabble-rouser. He's a thief who was literally excused from jail thanks to the FBI. He's gay too, because it mentions he has a husband. He's gay too, and he's invited onto a counter-terrorist organization not because of his skills as an operator or because of his long strings of successes, but because Ash trusts him. Really? It's such bad writing. It's totally just this Robin Hood-esque character. Here's the thing: if I was asked by the United Nations or someone like them to build a counter-terrorist operation, like go around the world and find strong operators to build a counter-terrorist operation, I would not find the sneak thief. I would not find the Robin Hoods. I would find the Joan of Arcs, who could inspire people. I would find the people with lots of kills under their belt. I'd find the people with good leadership or soldier skills. I'd find people who know their way around a gun. I would not find the dude who spends his days stealing from people for his own moral altruism. That's what it comes down to for me. Hold on. I got company. Why do I keep hitting that? Oh, God! Ow. I know I injured one. Well, that happened. Hey, kill assist, entry denial device triggered. That's what it is. Ah, another one triggered. Another kill assist. Rack them up. Rack them up. I'm getting all the kills today. Oh, that's awesome.
Op 4 is defusing a bomb. You need to disable their diffuser.
Raven, I feel like tragic backstories are generally overdone today. A lot of them are disingenuous to me and feel designed to force the audience to care about the character. Yeah, I agree with that, and I'll get into that in a minute. Flores is Diet Coke Robin Hood. Yeah. Hey, Raven, it's been a while. I'm just going to say keep the good content. I know what you said, that you don't do 1v1 and For Honor against your community, but I love fighting you against your Kyoshin. Oh, Nate, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, thank you, man. Hey, Raven, could you do a Siege play with fans? Sometime. Ah, we lost. Ah, whatever. Oh, whatever. I joined a late game. The feudal Raven Lord of Japan. Hey, Raven, do you think there's a way that they could have saved the Chimera versus Horko storyline? Probably. War Mommy versus God? God. You're talking to a Christian here. You know my position. Hey, Raven, how did the Mongols seize effectively even though how did they siege effectively even though their strength was horse skirmishing? They borrowed and learned technology from people that they conquered.
Once they beat the Chinese, they took the best Chinese engineers with them and learned from them.
Yeah.
And actually they could get creative. Actually in what is the modern day Ukraine, they actually used biological warfare because they would send plague bodies in catapults and launch them over the wall so the plague would spread inside the city.
The Mongols might have preferred horse archery in their early days, but as they grew and developed, they gained new strategies and styles of combat. Oh, to everyone here, I've played all the Witcher games and I'm a big fan of them. Are the Netflix things worth the money or not? Because that's all I get Netflix for. I haven't watched much of the Witcher series on Netflix. I hear it starts out good, then gets a little weird, as most things do. But anyway, back to my point about Flores and the tragic backstory thing. Okay, so the reason I don't like Flores, and actually while we're waiting on it to load up a match, let's go ahead and just take a look at old Flores real quick. He's in the attackers, right? He's the only operator I don't have because I have no interest in him. It'll show me his bio. Show me your bio, buddy. In life, you have to commit to things that make you happy. For me, that's robbing the rich and corrupt. That's so real. Okay. Providing for his mother as her health slowly declined. Lucerio was unfulfilled with work. We'll come back to it. Remind me. After this next match, we'll come back to this. But just, God, it's such cringe. This is why I don't like him. All the other backstories are kind of meh to me. They're just okay. Some are better than others, but they're all just kind of eh. Because they all follow the same thing. Kid wanted a different movement on life. They had a tragic backstory. They joined the military, really go up in life, and then yada, yada, yada. Some are better than others. Some are more creative than others. But Flores is the one that I just go, shoot me. I just do not like it. There's nothing redeeming about it. Hey Raven, I remember when this game used to not be completely sweaty as F and casual used to be fun. I remember those days too. Those were the days. I think that's one of the reasons why Rainbow Six Siege is starting to go downhill. And I know that's weird to say, but think about this. For a while, Russian Badger, the YouTuber, was the patron saint of Siege. He was the reason me and my brother picked up the game at all, because we saw his videos, thought it looked fun, and picked up the game. He no longer makes Siege content, at least not at the same rate he used to. He used to make dedicated videos about each hero, or about each operator. He doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't even make videos about each new season. Like, and the last time he made a Rainbow Six Siege video, this is my personal opinion, so don't take this as gospel, but he just sounded so miserable doing it. He sounded like he did not want to do it. And genuinely, I'm glad he's not doing it anymore, because he's doing such better videos now. I love his Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. That was hilarious. I loved his real Battlefield ones. And then what was the Payday 2 ones are very funny.
New Vegas was
Fallout New Vegas was amazingly funny. Like, he just does such good content now when he does what he enjoys. And I can tell he just doesn't enjoy Rainbow Six Siege anymore. Now, there are some content creators who still do well with it. Like, you've got Siege Tales who just do animations for Siege. And he's funny. He's funny. I still watch him. And then you've got also Bosun Bunch, who's a YouTuber who I really like. He's very funny. In fact, I actually played a For Honor match with him accidentally. I just hopped on and he was there. That was so weird. I actually sent him a message later saying, "Dude, you were in For Honor. I didn't think I'd see you here." But we played a match of For Honor together. But I love his Siege videos. They're very entertaining. So I think there are still people who make content for the game, and they always will. But I just get this feeling that Rainbow Six Siege is just starting to fade away, you know? It's just not what it used to be. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
10 seconds left.
I think that it's just the way this game has gone. I think it's reached a point where it's gotten way too sweaty. They're starting to repeat character ideas. It's really funny to me, because people were always saying how For Honor was one day going to die. They're all just saying, dead game, For Honor's dead, dead game, dead game. Now looking at it, For Honor's making a comeback. We're seeing a lot more people come back to the game. But Rainbow Six is losing players, and they're trying to come out with this new game, which is basically Rainbow Six Siege only against zombies and stuff, which they think will breathe life back into it, when really, I don't think it will. But maybe I'm the crazy one. Just gonna lurk right here. I'm good at lurking. I guess. Oh, what was that? What was that? What was that? That was Cade. Don't worry, Frost. I got this place locked down, babe. And you're good. Yeah, you're good. I got this place locked down. All right, I'll leave it to you then.
Located a bomb.
Oh, shoot! That was my sister. I know someone was sneaking around there. Ah, I thought I could get the drop on her. Ah. Man, that Zofia was just in the perfect spot. Anyway, let's see. Hey Raven, what was Flores' rebel father involved in Argentina? I don't know the history of Argentina apart from the Falklands Wars. Was it commies? Tell you what, after this match, we'll hop off the matchmaking for a minute and we'll go over to his backstory and we will break down what's wrong with Flores. Okay, but anyway, okay, but let's talk about tragic backstories while we wait to go back to Flores. Let's talk about tragic backstories. I know that y'all weren't expecting a Ravens writing room here, but here you go. Here's Ravens writing room. Oh, it's Frost versus Zofia. Zofia has the rate of fire. She's going to win. Okay, but anyway, let's talk about tragic backstories. I know that I'm jumping all over the place. So with tragic backstories, people always think, oh, if I make a tragic character, then you'll empathize with them. I vehemently hate that mindset. It's the idea that, oh, well, you'll feel bad for my character, therefore you will be forced to like them. I think it was one of the things they did with Rey in the new Star Wars series. She's stranded on an alien planet. She just wants to find her family. She's forced to do menial labor. Yeah, it's all sad. It's all, oh, don't you feel bad for him? In most anime, they like to do this too. Don't you feel bad for this main character? Like Naruto. Oh, Naruto's real bad about this. Every character has to have some really emotional sob story, and they have to take breaks in the middle of frickin' fight scenes to go in deep detail about it. That's how every fight in Naruto seems to go. Naruto confronts this big baddie. Hold on, let's see. It's tough, but I'm gonna go chunks. But you know, Naruto will fight this bad guy or this enemy or this opponent, and the opponent will have a really tragic backstory, and they'll just lay it on thick for Naruto. They'll pause the middle of the battle and just lay it on thick, and then Naruto just says, "Hey, screw that! My backstory's sadder than yours," and then kick their butt. That's what it comes. That's what it always is. That's what it always is. That's whatever. And I know that someone's going to say, "What about this?" I'm talking in a general rule here. I'm just giving a general sense. In a general sense, that is essentially Naruto down to a T. Just my backstory is sadder than your backstory. Sympathize with me, because if my backstory is sadder, then therefore you will sympathize and know that I'm the good guy. And I'm like, what if the bad guy's backstory were more sad? You know, what if they suffered more? You know, I don't see why I don't see why they have to always be super tragic backstories for the good guys to morally uphold them. If you have to make your good guy good based on how empathetic you find them, that's a pretty bad character. Yeah, I mean. And y'all may disagree. Maybe y'all think, no, I'm totally fine with a hero with a sad backstory. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. But I think that people use that as a crutch. My character has no redeeming qualities. They have no interesting personality. They have nothing that makes them stand out. So I'm going to give them a sad backstory. And in doing so, you'll forget that they have no redeeming qualities. You know, and I'm not going to stand there where there's a frickin' window. Oh, I hear movement. Big scary movement. Oh, something blew up. Something blew up. Who's there? Who's there? Oh, I see movement. Oh! You opened door number 1 and it did not turn out okay for you. Dang it. It's Zofia again! Ah! You crazy Polish bitch! Alright, whatever. Anyway,
Op 4, last operator standing.
So anyway, point is, but there can be characters who don't need sad backstories to make them interesting. Like, take One Piece. Okay, One Piece, I know that I go on about it, but think about it like this. Luffy's backstory is sad, okay? But he doesn't make it everything about him. He doesn't go into each battle going, you don't know what I've been through. He just uses his backstory as the meaning behind why he has his goals. He doesn't use it to morally uplift himself. Zoro's backstory is sad, but he uses it as the meaning behind why he wants to be the greatest swordsman. He doesn't demean other people by saying, you just don't understand me. There is not one character in One Piece who walks up to their opponent and says, I suffered more than you, I am morally righteous. None of them do that. The villains are villainous by their own merits, and the heroes are heroic by their own merits. If you have to use your tragic backstory to defend everything you do, there's a problem with your character, because we are more than our pasts. Our pasts shape our present, but our present can still be unique without the need to fall back on the past. Okay, with that all said and my preaching done, let's go take a look at Flores. While I do that, what do y'all think about that? That's what I heard about Demon Slayer in a nutshell. Demon Slayer, oh Lord. I love Demon Slayer, I really do. I think it's a lot of fun. But again, not a lot of, I don't need the tragic backstory on everything. Sorry about that, needed some water. Okay. So basically, Naruto fights are the like old people bragging about how hard they had it in their old day. Yeah, that's actually exactly what a Naruto fight is. Okay, so let's take a look at Flores. Bro, you're probably more versed in Argentinian history than I am, so once I finish reading this, you can explain why it's hilarious that he's Argentinian. Okay, so, quote, "In life, you have to commit to the things that make you happy. For me, that's robbing the rich and corrupt." Okay. Providing for his mother as her health slowly declined, Lucerio was unfulfilled with work in the public sector and unimpressed with military school. Okay, that should already tell you a problem. He's working for a military organization, but he doesn't like authority or the military. Moving on. This drew him to burglary as an occupation. Now, hold on. I want you to hear that. Take that part. That this drew him to burglary as an occupation. Take that and compartmentalize it, because the next part of the sentence is going to laugh your ass off. And he found purpose in robbing powerful criminals to give back to the poor. Okay, question one. If you found burglary as an occupation, as in this is what you do, this is your job, this is your means of making a living, why are you giving it to other people? How do you make a living by stealing and then giving away what you steal? I'm not saying it's not morally altruistic. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. I mean, one of my favorite first games that I ever played was the Sly Cooper series, and that is all about a thief stealing from criminals. But you know what? Sly Cooper kept what he stole. And of course there's Robin Hood, who stole from the rich to give to the poor. But he was stealing back taxes to give back to the people. And Robin of Locksley was a knight. He was a man with merit. He was a man with land. And people were always coming to his aid to help him out. He didn't need to make his living robbing. That's just what he did to help society. Here, burglary, as it says in your background, is your occupation. You make your living doing this. And you hate work in the public sector, and you hate military school, so you made your occupation stealing from powerful criminals to give back to the poor. Yes, that, ladies and gentlemen, is bad writing. How do you make your living doing that? How do I know it's bad writing? Because it makes him sound morally righteous, not smart. It makes him sound just, good, a hero, not intelligent. Next, operating in the Flores district of Buenos Aires, Lucerio's notoriety grew and he came to be known as the Man from Flores. Wow, what a nickname. When his identity was exposed and he had to flee, Specialist Eliza Ash Cohen offered him asylum in the United States. In exchange, he provided evidence against Buenos Aires' most ruthless crime lords. Okay, so far I'll buy that. I will actually buy that Ash gave him asylum in exchange for information, okay? That's fine. With a new life in Los Angeles, Lucerio opened his own food truck from which he operated Heist for 5 years. Okay, so get this. He runs to the United States seeking asylum. He's given it. The first thing he does when he gets over there, starts robbing again. Yes, he starts robbing again. Now, you can't make the argument, oh, but it's just what he likes to do. No. He did not like work in the public sector of Argentina. Okay. And he was not impressed with the military of Argentina. Okay. What's wrong with the American system? You can't find another job in America? He's running a food truck, which is a front. It's not his main means of living. It's not his main means of occupation. And here's the best part. He gets a second chance. Ash gives him a second chance, and what does he do with it? Right back to crime. That's cute. Okay. When Cohen became aware of his activities, she offered him a seat at her table in a stable future in which he could build a family. Okay. Let's talk about that too. Ash has been built up in the series as this by the book, no nonsense, up by her bootstraps worker. She takes everything seriously, even training exercises, values life and law. Okay? Literally in the most recent little tournament they had, she got down Kali's ass because Kali put her and Dokkaebi in danger to get the win. And saying that this isn't a game. This is real. This is training, and you can't use people as bait. The idea that she would find out that this moron who was stealing as an occupation is now doing it again after she gave him a second chance, and her saying, you know what, you're pretty good at that stealing thing. Come join up with Rainbow Six. Really? That's your plan. That's your plan, Ash. Okay, Ash, that is entirely outside of your character. That is nothing like the character. This sounds like something Kali would do. Kali would be the one who looks for the person who is outside the book, who doesn't play by the rules, and says, hey, you would probably make a fine spot for this Rainbow Six team. Now, another thing to point out here. What do we know about him? Has he killed anybody? No, there's nothing in his bio about his military history other than he hated military school. There's nothing about his abilities with a gun. There's nothing about his abilities in combat. There's nothing about his abilities under stress. There is only he steals from people. Are you noticing a problem with his background? There is absolutely no credibility for his abilities as an operator. There's no credibility to believe that he could be effective in a combat situation. There's no credibility to believe that he's even taken a life. All we know that he's done is he stole from people more powerful than him to give back to people lesser, so altruistic and so noble, was given a second chance in the United States only to start doing it again, and Ash, like a complete idiot, says, hey, you'd be perfect for a counter-terrorist organization. Holy mess. Okay, let's go down to the psychology report. Because of his stubborn and perfectionist nature, Specialist Santiago Flores Lucerio struggles to separate the personal from the professional. Yeah, because that sounds like a really good psychological evaluation for a terrorist operative. He likes to put people at ease and regularly cracks jokes, but he often gets in his own way by overanalyzing mundane situations. Fair. I can understand the impulse to cover all possibilities, considering his mother was killed in retaliation of his activities in Buenos Aires. So his mother was killed as a result of his thieving. And he didn't stop thieving. He literally got his own mother killed, and he doesn't think, hey, maybe I'm the bad guy. Okay, sorry, that was perfect. Sorry, I hate not to laugh at dead people, but that's hilarious. He needs to realize that he's in good hands here. In the long run, I'm certain his interactions with others, particularly Ash, with whom he's already familiar, will help him let down his guard. Hold on! But he already has his guard let down. You literally just said in the first paragraph he likes to put people at ease and regularly cracks jokes. He's already making jokes. He's let down his guard. He's good. What? Okay, moving on. As a bonding exercise, I had Santiago cook his favorite Argentinian meals for us to share, and it became easier to dive into deeper subjects. I learned that despite his charms, he's not afraid to be vocal about social issues, red flag, and his efforts to give back to the impoverished communities. Okay. He also confessed that his marriage was as much of a surprise to him as it was to me. Maybe in time we'll find out why his husband isn't bothered by his criminal career. So he's gay.
Oh, you did go to California.
Yeah, he does live in California, so, well.
Par for the course there.
I'm not going to make fun of that, but it is just more icing on this cake of stupid. Moving on. He also delved into how his childhood shaped who he is today. While he adheres to this traditional idea of machismo, he's quick to point out that his mother taught him to think independently. He has no memories of his father and his political activism. Keep that in mind. His father was a political activist in Argentina. We'll come back to that. But he likes to talk about how his mother was proud of him for also doing what he felt was right, regardless of consequences. Let's talk about those consequences real quick. Bro, what do you know about the Argentinian political situation that would have been going on at this point in time? Please say it loud and clear.
Oh gosh, Argentinian history ain't exactly my forte, but I can tell you.
But you know what was going on.
Well, the 20th century was not exactly great for Argentina. They started out as, in the Western Hemisphere, as one of the most powerful economies. However, time was not kind to them. They slowly degraded over time. and there was a military junta dictatorship that took over for a while, and that's actually what launched the Falkland Wars. Because the dictator knew that he was on shaky ground, so he's like, well, if I can just win a war and gain some territory, I'll be back on stable footing. So he decides to pick on Britain because historically Falklands have been associated with that territory. Problem is, though, you had Thatcher in office, who was not going to take it, even if she did just disband a good portion of her navy. Not a good idea. But anyway, you know how that went out. And anyway, Argentina has been kind of just struggling ever since. Eventually, the military junta fell apart, and so I don't know how old he is specifically.
We can take a look.
But
let's find out how old he is. He is 38.
So yeah, he probably wouldn't be old. He probably would have been born after the military dictatorship fell, but his father may have died in it, which might give him some cause to fight, I suppose. But the thing is, I don't know of anything in Argentina that he would be so big to rebel against. The big communist movements were in Peru, Bolivia. That's where those were. And honestly, I don't know. I get that. I know they were going for a Robin Hood vibe here, but I feel like they tried to put too much into one operative, and as a result, they just kind of spoil it. Too many if you. A bad cook thinks that putting all the spices in one dish makes it delicious. It doesn't. It just makes it...
Right. And I just think it's so hilarious because it's like you said, Argentina was going through, at the time that his father would have been around, a major dictatorship, communist revolt and downfall, all this nonsense going on, and the first thing he wants to do is steal from criminals and rich bureaucrats.
I got it. I know why they did what they did.
Why did they do what they do?
Guess who's also from Argentina? Who's a bit of a revolutionary.
Who's from Argentina, Will?
Oh, but you've seen his face.
Oh, we've all seen his face, bro.
He's on every t-shirt.
Yeah, the person from Argentina who he's probably based on, hit me with it.
Che Guevara.
Che Guevara! That's who I was waiting on you to get to.
Please be based off of Che Guevara, because Che Guevara was incredibly homophobic. That would be just, if that's it, great. Absolutely.
I didn't know that. Che Guevara was a homophobe and this guy's gay. Okay, let's read the last paragraph and then we'll move on. I'm glad Santiago has been taking the time to observe everyone else's methods in order to improve his own. He learned a lot at the Colegio Militar in El Palomar, and I'm sure his years of criminal activity... Oh, wait, he learned a lot at the Colegio Militar in El Palomar, so he did learn in a military academy, but he didn't like it, so there's no reason to believe that he really learned a lot from it. Whatever. And I'm sure his years of criminal activity helped in that regard. Why? All they would teach is infiltration. However, I believe his budding friendship with Dokkaebi and Gridlock, based mostly on technology and food, will be greatly beneficial. Okay, I'm just going to point this out. Based on technology and food. Technology, definitely Dokkaebi, which means food is Gridlock, who is the thickest and heaviest woman in the game. Are you really going to throw... Okay, so it's okay to have the homosexual man. That's totally fine. But you going to fat shame a girl Gridlock?
I think it's just because she's Australian and you're stereotyping her being on the Barbie.
This is,
That's something else. I mean, my biggest issue with it is, think about it from a psychological perspective. You already have the issue of having multiple different nationalities working together, and can be a lot of beef and history between that. Like Ash, who's from Israel originally, working with Oryx, who's a Jordanian. There's already some tension going on there, and of course there's various tensions, Russians working with Americans on all that. And you have all this tension, and then you throw in a guy that's literally known for not wanting to play by the rules and being very hostile to authority figures. What happens if he sympathizes with the terrorists that Rainbow Six is sent to go after? I don't think he's going to sympathize with white masks, because they're just evil for the sake of being evil.
Right.
But not like they're important to the game anymore. It's kind of like... He would make more sense to bring on as a liaison for for training infiltration, not as an actual operator himself. Kind of like in White Collar, they hired on the thief, but they generally did not like sending him out into the field. They wanted him as an advisor, but he kept on worming his way into the field.
Yep. Okay, so I'm reading through some of y'all's comments since we started this. And I like this one. So basically that means Flores' dad is working with the government and Flores is working against his dad's occupation because he's in a crazy trance. That could very well be what it is. And then, have you played the Legends mode of Ghost of Tsushima? No, I have not. Falkland War was a war created because they couldn't share the oil, I think. Che Guevara was also a racist. He was. Ain't nothing else is learning besides criminal stuff. I'm very sorry, but I have to go. I'm so sorry. Bye, just some guy with no interest. See you later. Bruh, offensive gay jokes. Che Guevara, wheezing laugh. Here's the thing, I don't care if he's gay, but I just think everything else on top of it is just so funny. It's like they tried to shove as many socio-politically correct things on this guy. Just look at the way he's dressed. Oh, this guy's awful. Oh. It's like you just said, let's make a completely social justice warrior operator for Rainbow Six Siege. No one will notice.
Well, the problem is, it's just like you make the one openly gay character you have like incredibly liberal and incredibly pro-social justice, and also a thief.
Yeah, literally.
Like striking a blow, like whoa.
Like literally, the dude.
Imagine if you're a gay guy, and the one time you're getting represented is like, yeah, you're the burglar. Hey,
you're a thief who steals from criminals to give back to the poor. You don't know your own father. You're gay. You're you're an immigrant. You're all these things that pile up into a social justice warrior's wet dream. And on top of all that, I'm just like
it's almost like Ubisoft was like, we gotta get them all, like, instead of like spacing them out a bunch of unstuff operators, we gotta squeeze them all into one and just throw them out.
I don't care if you're one. I don't care if you're two. But 4 or 5 different elements just shoved into one character. I'm like, what were you trying to do here, Ubisoft? See, like people say, oh, you don't like him because he's gay. I don't care that he's gay.
I mean, like,
it doesn't bother me, but I just think it's hilarious that he is because of all the rest of the stuff that he is. Because you'll notice, I didn't make a big deal about the gayness. The one thing I made a big deal about was the fact that, oh, he's got... he's a thief. It's an occupation.
And the best part about him being gay, and
he
is based off of Che Guevara. Making him gay is the best choice. That is just fantastic.
How do you think the Argentinians feel about that? You just made our operator a gay social justice warrior who couldn't stop doing
Can you imagine being like on the Argentinian, like you're that family like in the military task force, like, oh, which one of our military members are they gonna shove over there? Like, which military task force? Like, no, none of your task force. We're gonna pick just some random birdie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done laughing at that now. But y'all were asking. Remember, I only got on this tirade because everyone was asking me, are there any backstories or lore behind the operators that I really like? And like I said, most of them are okay. They don't bother me. But that one, after reading it, I was like, oh, wow. I think the other question I'd ask is, why would you invite a thief who has no respect for governments or authority onto a government-run anti-terrorist task force?
Particularly considering that he's from South America, you just brought him to the United States. The United States has pulled some shady shit in South America.
Yeah, it's like, what were you? How do you know that this guy is trustworthy? He's a thief. He's literally a thief because Ash vouches for him. I'm sorry, I think that's hilarious that she vouches for him. He doesn't have the kind of moral character that Ash would approve of.
Honestly, it would have made more sense for him to be introduced if he had been hired on to work for Kali.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I was saying earlier, Kali would have made more sense as the one who vouched for him.
10 seconds to insertion.
It makes no sense. Oh, look at that. Hey. I'm gonna have my drone sit on that.
Location and defuse it. You have dropped the diffuser. The diffuser is now.
The only thing that would have made him even more of an SJW is that he was a strong, independent woman. I will actually give them credit. Normally, when they're the first to inject LGBTQ stuff into a series, they typically use a lesbian instead of a gay man. I don't know why they do that though. It's just
yeah. So credit where credit's due.
Yeah. They could have gone the easy route, I suppose. But still, once again, making a gay Che Guevara, priceless.
Oh, oh, I saw that. I saw that. Here, let's make a hole. Why did it switch back? I saw that. Oh, God! Ella. Man, I was barely aimed. How'd you get that? Oh, well. On tragic backstories, I know you hate the Star Wars sequels, but I will still definitely recommend the Phasma book. But Phasma has a pretty tragic backstory. She grew up on a hostile, terrible planet. Okay.
That's the point of Star Wars who hasn't.
Okay. Let me ask you a question there, A-person, because that's a good point. Okay, Phasma has a really tragic backstory because she grew up on a terrible planet. So did Luke. So did Rey.
So did Anakin.
So did Anakin. So did Han Solo. There are no points won for me. Okay, when every character wins, when every character is just a sad backstory, after a while I have to go, okay, I'm done with sad backstories now. Can't we have a character who actually is somewhat successful or somewhat, you know,
and also
viable besides that?
We'd have more license to care if we saw Phasma do just about anything.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Like if you have to go read the book to say, oh wow, what a well-written character, I don't care.
I mean, kudos to the author that tried to salvage that. I mean, that's got to be rough stuff, and if they did a good job, that's good. But the thing is, she's fighting an uphill battle, considering that the movies give us nothing to work with as far as.
Right, the movies just have Phasma there as a prop. So
it kind of sucks they got apparently like an A-list actor to do her. And then
later, Wolf Whisperer. Che Guevara, even in the West, opinions of the guy are kind of mixed, and I respect the guy's abilities, and I haven't read the Motorcycle Diaries yet, but as for his politics as well as other things.
In your opinion, who's the most interesting video game character, and why is it Cloud or Sephiroth?
I don't play Final Fantasy VII. I don't know anything about Cloud or Sephiroth, other than the fact that they have giant swords and crazy hair. But then again, that's par for the course with Square Enix. So yeah, you can, if they're the most interesting characters to you, so be it. Let's go Foos! I don't need to go the big destruction man.
I'm probably gonna have to go with Arthur Morgan. He's pretty good.
Arthur Morgan was very interesting. I give him that. He was very up there.
Most of the people as a part of the Vanderlyn gang have it interesting.
Well, it was a very long game. You had a lot of time to really dive into them as characters.
The motion capture artists talk about
their
experience with each other. It's quite interesting because most acting projects you don't work too long on. They worked on this for like several years, and so they develop not only a bond with the characters, but with each other.
Well, yeah, you know, that's the sign of a good story writing.
Phasma's most memorable moment, gun inspection. Oh, the way she checked that breach for debris.
Your drone has found a bomb.
No, I got shot. Phasma's most memorable moment, gun inspection. Her most memorable moment for me was when she died.
5 seconds to insertion.
That was the moment where I was like, literally when she showed up to fight Finn in The Last Jedi, literally I was like, oh yeah, she was a thing. I literally forgot she existed.
The most memorable thing I remember about her isn't even from the dang movie, was the controversy around her armor, because there was some moron that was complaining that you couldn't tell she was a woman just by her armor. And I'm just like, why?
Who cares?
But it's the one time I actually had to defend the dang thing. It's like, it doesn't matter. I just wish she could have done something with it.
Oh shoot! Why? Ah, you absolute ass!
Bandito Dorito.
Ah, you lurking mother!
Okay, here's a good question. Hey Raven, which type of backstories are underrated?
Backstories that are underrated. How about a backstory about a person who had everything and lost it? and had to learn to reclaim it. I think the last time I saw that was in Thor.
Also, one thing is...
I think genuinely, I think the last time I saw that was in Thor. I like backstories where the character starts off with power, starts off with everything, starts off having practically everything handed to them, but then it's suddenly pulled out from underneath them. And instead of just magically getting it back, they have to earn it back. They have to work to get it back. And I think that's a great chance for character growth, self-reflection. I think Thor, the movie, handled that incredibly well.
I think Thor needed to fix on that was just like the time he spent, because he like fixed it in over a weekend. I think if they had like let it, you know.
Yeah, I wish that he'd spent like a month without his hammer. That would have been very cool. Anyway, if you could have one power from anime, manga, or games, which one would it be? Man, those are the real questions.
Absolutely.
One friendly operator remaining.
Those are the real questions. I'd love to go Ultra Instinct. That'd be sick. I mean, that's Ultra Instinct, dude. It's literally enlightenment. It's pretty awesome. But you know, there's also the whole idea of, you know, being just... I mean, I've often said that one power that I'd love to have is to be able to speak any language. That sounds kind of lame, but at the same time, it
Mission successful.
Makes sense.
I mean, makes sense. There's a lot of application to it.
It's far more believable. You're not going to have like a whole lot of responsibilities with it either, because like if you're Superman, people are like, you got to save everyone. But if you just speak a bunch of languages.
But what does Ultra Instinct do if you don't have key control? Okay, that's a very common misunderstanding of what Ultra Instinct is supposed to be based on. Ultra Instinct is not based on key control. Ultra Instinct is based on enlightenment. The idea of enlightenment is to let go of want, to let go of desire, to let go of fear, to let go of happiness, to let go of connections and attachments. It's like what Aang was trying to do in Avatar: The Last Airbender when the guru told him to let go of Katara and all other things that he was attached to. When you let go of these things and understand that there is no attachment, there is no pain, there is no desire, you become one with the universe and therefore become the universe. You become the infinite. When Goku in Dragon Ball Super let go of his personal wants, his personal drive for battle, you could tell there was a moment where he kind of let go of it. He abandoned all that. And Whis even said, in order to fully reach your full potential, you have to let go of the things distracting you, things in your mind. Your body should just move on its own without your mind distracting it. And so Goku had to let go of the things distracting him, which were such things as his wants, desires, and strive for battle. They even made a point of saying he no longer wants to do this for the fight alone. He is doing this as an instinct, and that's when it became Ultra Instinct. Enlightenment is a very tricky concept to understand and discuss.
Located a bomb. Get ready to engage.
Well, then again, Buddhism itself is a very tricky concept to discuss.
Yeah, well, there's as many Buddhist denominations that are like Christian denominations, so. Now, his name's Sam Fisher, but have you ever seen him fishing once?
No.
False advertisement.
I'm the one streamer who is not good at games. Ooh, what was that? What was that? Oh, my imagination. I could have sworn. Oh, what the? Ah! It was not my imagination. He was just lurking up there. Ah!
Trust your instincts. It's like Rainbow Six Siege. I don't see the 6 rainbows in the sky, so it's false advertising. Exactly.
Am I just gonna lay here and die? Okay. Because, I mean, no one's gonna come. There we go. Now he got me.
Oh, it was Ace.
It would be Ace.
One friendly remaining.
Whatever.
Hey Raven, which Chaos God from 40k is your favorite?
Corn, probably.
Just
Slanesh is hilarious. Nurgle's wholesome. And I just don't get Sneech.
Sneech doesn't want anyone to get Sneech. He doesn't want himself to get
Friendlies were
Sneech.
eliminated.
Anyway. Okay, a person. To her, there were only 2 people in the galaxy, the ones willing to do anything to survive. If you're still talking about Phasma, I'd like you to know that what you just described was basically a Polygon. And I'm not saying that they didn't write Phasma well in the book. I'm just saying you have to divorce it from the movie. It does not matter how well she was written in the book. The book is trying to make up for how badly she was written in the movie. You can keep telling me how good she was in the book all you want. It changes nothing. It changes nothing about the movies.
It actually makes it worse. It's like, oh, you mean they they could have had something great, but then they ruined it? Oh.
Well, no, it's not that. It's what they did was they made the movies. Everyone points out, hey, this is a terrible character, and they said, no, she's a good character. She has a book.
Well, it's just kind of like when they explain, like, no, Rey was able to learn everything from Kylo Ren because in that one moment in the 8th movie, she absorbed all of his knowledge, and I'm like, what the kind of cop-out is that?
Op 4 located a bomb. Protect it. Op 4 has located a bomb. Plan your defenses accordingly.
Honestly, if I had to pick up any Chaos, got to be either Nurgle or Slanesh. Interesting choice, Fierce. Considering what you do, I would have guessed
5
Sneech or
seconds and
Nurgle.
counting.
I meant Sneech or Nurgle. I would have guessed Sneech or Corn.
Bomb located by Op 4.
Because I feel like the spamming elephants into combat would be exactly something Corn would be all about.
Yep. Corn would be behind that.
Spamming biological tanks into warfare? Hey, I'm all about that. Splitting a man right down the middle? Hey, I'm all about that.
Okay. Okay. I ain't nobody's fool.
Who knows Archaon the Ever-Chosen any day?
Oh shoot! God! Really? Really?
Sweat swamp my brain.
Who uses drones? Who uses drones in a casual? Ugh. Do y'all see why I don't play this game? People ask me to play this just to see me get tortured. Oh, this is painful.
Start playing it so you had a bad day.
So you had a bad day. Day one.
Fierce, no, if I had to pick a Chaos God to be the Great Horned Rat. Yes, yeah. Alright. I think we know somebody that wants to work for Clan Scryer over here. You want your cyborg rat over next. There. If there are Chaos Gods in 40k, could there be Gods of Order? Kind of, but not the same, because I mean, the Emperor of Man is kind of like a God of Order, except he doesn't like being called a god. It's weird. Then you have the Eldar God, who were, kind of all killed except for their one Harlequin God. Then there's...
I'm not. I think we should pause there. If we go too deep into 40k lore, we're gonna be here forever.
You ain't wrong.
I mean, like, to explain the Chaos Gods, you gotta explain how the warp works, and when you explain how the warp works, you gotta explain what the F was going on outside the warp. To do that, you gotta go all the way back to the old ones and the Eldar, and...
See, it started in the 80s with these British guys who wanted to sell a lot of plastic miniatures.
Yeah. And now they make no sense.
It's like, hey, what if we make terrible business?
Hey, we won the round, which means we're gonna get to go again.
Correct.
So that I can die again. Hey Lark, what are your thoughts on the First Order? Save it for a video. You've got a whole video planned for that, don't you?
Yeah, abbreviation. Go watch the Template Institutes, like how they would fix it. That's basically what I would want to do.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go Doki. I'm gonna go Doki. I might be able to pull something off if I go Doki. Now everyone's just talking about Warhammer. They've completely forgotten everything else. Might be a good thing because probably need to stop in a little bit because you've got bed soon. You know, you got work.
I ain't work in the morning.
Yeah, this will probably be the last match, and we'll talk about a few other things before we go to bed. But yeah, this might have to be the last one. All right, let's go. Match point, ladies and gentlemen. Match point. I'm going to die. Oh, and I got told to kill myself in a match a few days ago. Like, no joke. And, like, these guys called me trash because I couldn't clutch a match, and they just told me to go die. Like, and I'm like, wow, you guys are so much fun.
10 seconds before insertion.
Like, dude, you uninstall the game. You fucking suck. And I'm like, yeah, because I couldn't clutch. I'm sorry, I'm not omnipotent.
Proceed to bomb's location and defuse it.
I'm not a god tier player. Okay. Okay. Bring another.
Bomb has been located.
Reloading! Cover me! All set. Blast area! I won't let this one...
Which one of the Vikings and For Honor would win in a screaming match? I think Jormungandr.
Jormungandr's got that.
The diffuser is no longer in your possession.
Oh, whoa, what the? What blew up? What blew up? Hey, that worked. Oh.
The diffuser has been recovered.
Oh, God! That Lord X hiding in the corner.
Friendly, last operator standing.
Don't go in. He's in the corner. Ah, we've lost. Fat meatball just sitting in the corner. Hey Raven, do you know anything about the Imperial Knights from 40K? Yes, and I'm not talking about it. I'm done talking about 40K tonight. If it's not questions about who I want to see next in For Honor, who my main is in For Honor, it's do you know this about 40K?
Maybe we do. Maybe we do. You don't know.
I love For Honor and I love 40K, but I feel like I get the same questions over and over. Like, I think I've been asked, who's your main?
Friendlies have been eliminated.
Hundreds of times.
Who's your favorite chaos?
Which character do I want to see next in For Honor? I've been asked that 100 times. And if you could, and do you know this about these Chaos Gods? Who's your favorite Chaos God? What do you love about the Emperor? What's your favorite Imperial Legion? What's your favorite all this crap? I'm like, you know, I'm a historian. You can ask me something about history. You can ask me something about martial arts. I did that. Maybe ask me about my teaching career. What was teaching like? But no, it's, do you know the Imperial Knights? Yes.
They're just getting a little excited.
Yeah, I know. Ugh. Might as well ask me something. The gameplay isn't worth watching. Okay.
Hey Raven, what was the Viking fighting style?
What was the Viking fighting style? Whatever they damn well wanted. Raven, but sorry if I annoyed you with that whole thing. Honestly, was just trying to salvage something out of that wreck of the sequels. I never want to force my opinion on anyone at all. I'm glad you want to find something good in the sequels. I wanted to once as well. I quit a long time ago. It's like trying to look at a turd and trying to find some redeeming value in it when all you can do is look at it and say, yeah, that looked good once. That used to be something tasty. That used to be something worthwhile. Now it's just a turd. Oh, brother. Okay, so I think that's going to have to wrap it up, guys. I got to get going. Okay, so in answer to the few questions that I just got, what was teaching like? You're all so sarcastic. But I love my community. You guys are awesome, despite it all. Sorry that this wasn't Ghost of Tsushima. I promise I will do that Saturday. I'm gonna try to do that Saturday, at my usual time. Friday's still gonna be For Honor Friday. That hasn't changed. Still working on videos. Hopefully have something out soon. Not sure what yet. Got a couple of projects going. We'll have something out soon. Maybe a short story. Who knows? And yeah, I didn't play very well. I think I got 1 kill total the entire night. I think that about sums it up. Don't you think, bro?
Several kill assists, Cat.
Oh, there were kill assists, but I think most of it was just 1 kill. That's Tachanka. That says a lot about me in this game. But at least we had a lot of fun making fun of Flores, and that's always great.
We had a good time. That's what's important.
Anyway. Just had to have a moment. Okay, so anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. Hope that y'all got something out of it. I know that it's not my usual kind of thing. It's a little different. But got to have some fun, got to have some laughs. You got to hear my talk on Flores, which I was wanting to get out there. I think I wanted to vent that a little bit. Got to answer a few fun questions, and just cut around on Rainbow Six Siege. Now you can see why I don't play this game very much. I am the absolute epitome of garbage on it. It's why I don't do it often, and when I do it, it is just because I know I'm not going to try. I'm just going to have fun. With that said, guys, I know that y'all are probably throwing some questions at me. I'm probably not going to answer any tonight. The last one I will answer, the Universal Union. In history, which battle was the most lethal before guns were a thing? So which one was the most deadly? Well, I don't know off the top of my head. That's a tough one. Kenny would be a big one. Yeah.
Comes to mind because, contrary to popular, it wasn't just like a slaughter for the Romans. It was also like the Carthaginians that took some heavy losses there too.
Yeah. So
wasn't like the Battle of Red Cliffs and the Three Kingdoms period? I think the casualty rate was pretty high there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say either the Battle of Kenny, or Battle of the Red Cliff. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want to see more of my weird, bizarre content, leave a comment down below if you're watching this late. Don't forget to join the Discord if you haven't already. I'll try to remember to leave the link in the description this time. And I will see you in my next video, whenever that happens.